Welcome to the Bite Size Brilliance podcast. I'm your host, April Darley, and today I want to talk about auditing your belief system because I recently had a couple of clients, and this is sort of an inspired mashup between these two, where one client sent me a copy of her performance review, and we're going to dig through it and help her create an action plan to progress. But another client came to me with a sneaky little subconscious sabotage. And that is, we had been working on her self worth, her sense of worthiness. Like, I am worthy. I believe I'm worthy, all the roots around that. And I use the word root deliberately because subconscious work is like a tree that has deep roots underground. And you just see the beautiful tree, but you don't really know how far and wide that root system goes unless you were to dig up that tree or use ground penetrating radar, something of that nature, right? And same with your subconscious is you don't really realize how deep the rabbit hole goes. And if you've had an issue for 20 years and you've never tried to work on that issue before, then 20 years is a really long time to create some wide, deep roots. But if this is a brand new acute issue, then things can resolve much faster because you haven't had a chance to branch off. And your subconscious will do funny things like that. It'll snowball an issue or branch off an issue that it looks to your conscious awareness as if it's two separate issues, but it actually shares the same root. So, my client's example of worthiness, she was feeling good. I'm feeling really worthy. But she came to me with an issue that she's a content creator and she created this project that she was really passionate about, but no one was buying this project. And she said, I just feel like it's not valuable and I can't put out valuable things. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants my content. Nobody wants to hear from me. So again, the subconscious separates value and worth as two very different things. So although we had worked on the branch of worthy, I'm worthy, I feel worthy, when you substitute the word value, it's like creating an entirely new issue for the brain to focus on. So there is a difference between value and worth. Now, if you looked up the definition of worthy in the dictionary, it would probably have the word value in it somewhere. A thesaurus would probably have cost or value as substitutes for worthy. So if you're really wanting to hit a subconscious issue from a lot of different ways at once, then you want to do that. You want to check and audit your belief system by substituting out different words and see if you are okay with all the words that are used or if one word substitution changes the whole thing and it highlights some area of concern that you may want to work on. So I see this a lot with money issues and debt. So, debt is a very low vibrational word. I mean, people that have been in debt or currently are in debt, they have a very sinking, yucky feeling when they think about that debt accumulating. But what if you used a completely different word for debt? Something that was pretty neutral. It's a word that you don't use in your everyday life to describe debt. It might be an open balance. Let's say that. If you're trying to say, I feel worthy even if I have debt and but you still feel yucky with debt, you may want to try auditing that belief system. And would you also feel worthy if you had an open invoice, an open balance, if you had an accumulating balance? You see where I'm going with this? The same thing with money. If the word money or the concept of money makes you feel heavy and yucky, then try calling money something else. And weirdly enough, money has food names attached to it. So cabbage, lettuce, dough. So maybe you want to try using cabbage. I'm going to go work and get some cabbage. And your brain is going to associate cabbage with food. And if you don't really super hate cabbage, then it's going to feel kind of neutral to you like, oh, it's cabbage. So you can use this technique to sort of emotionally bypass some of the hardship that your subconscious puts on you until you learn to let the issue go and accept yourself in every way. But that's just another way to kind of find this root system of what might be happening underneath the surface of your brain with your subconscious. Now, also, when it comes to auditing your belief systems, that's such an interesting concept. And we normally don't think about auditing our belief systems unless we come up with a particular challenge. So I'm going to use politics as an example. If there's some sort of issue, then politicians will have one politician will have one opinion, the other politician will have a slightly different opinion. And that's where your belief system gets challenged and you kind of pick a side, for lack of a better word. But other than that, you don't really sit back and unwind that belief. Like, why am I choosing this side? What's the ramification? Why is this important to me that this issue is solved in this particular way? What other things will that mean for me? What other things is that going to bring up for me? How is this going to enhance my life? And if this problem wasn't taken care of in this way, how would that be a detriment to my life? How would that create problems for me? So it's a new way to sort of zoom out and look at your life and really decide, am I living true to my values? Am I changing my beliefs in enough areas to really change me as a person, to allow for growth? And that's a very exciting thing when you learn to zoom out. And auditing your belief systems, auditing your thoughts can be an excellent way to do that. So, just to summarize, think about substituting word choice just to see if you have fully cleared an issue. Try different words in there. If you still get that feeling in your body, if it causes a little fear, then that's something you want to go in and dig up. You want to dig around in what is the cause of this? How can I flip this and get myself back to feeling good, back to a path of joy? Because I always say joy and pain, they're on the same spectrum. It's like flip sides of the same coin. When you go digging for the subconscious stuff, you're going to find the pain first because that's how we've been conditioned to think. So the new challenge is, how can I flip this pain to pleasure, desire, to a higher perspective? And you do that by learning to look at challenges as opportunities. It is a different way of thinking, but it's something I love to do with my clients. So if that interests you, you can head over to aprildarley.com and book a free discovery call. Or if you're ready to jump right in for the fast action takers, just go ahead and book an appointment with me and we'll get in and do a belief audit system for you. We'll check and see, do certain words cause a reaction, but you're fine with other aspects of that. And we'll highlight and flip that switch from pain to joy. Thank you so much, my friends. I hope this has been helpful. And as always, if you want to like, share, and review this podcast, I would be eternally grateful. Until next week, bye bye.